Woohoo! We are, in fact, live broadcasting. Sweet. Um, this is Lovecraft Cocktails. So we're doing our 86th broadcast. At least that's what the sign over there says, hence the peering along here. What are we going to do? Well, first of all, welcome to what I think is the first of the home broadcasts for Christmas this year. And you may notice we have some backlighting. There's a green backlight over there, and there's a red backlight over there. So there you go, red and green. We got the Christmas thing going. So yeah, yippee! Colleen's on. There are other people on. I can tell because it says there are other people on and watching me, which should make me nervous. But apparently, I don't know. It doesn't. We're good. So what are we doing this evening? It turns out that during Christmas season, people get Christmas gifts. And sometimes those gifts occur before Christmas Day. And in this case, somebody out there, somebody who's currently not on Molly but is actually on a cruise ship and therefore probably not tuning in. No, they are tuning in? Oh, sweet.
Hello from the Sky Princess.
I'm trying to remember exactly how many of these grapefruit they sent us, but we have a lot of these. Like 16 or something like that. It's somewhere between 12 and 16. I think it's actually 16 that we have of these guys. So, what?
Greg says, "Hi, Pooch, Star and Emo. Pooch may not forgive me for using this particular four-letter word, but I'm having a new beer right now."
Oh, Greg's trying a new beer. Okay, cool. You are perfectly allowed to have a new beer because that's one less beer that I have to have anything to do with. So, that works. That's okay with me. Greg's known me a long time. He knows my proclivity for hating beer.
David and Chris Room Steward is opening their Chianti to enjoy while watching.
Okay, I mean, I guess if you really want to open a bottle of Chianti. So, David, in case you missed that, David and Chris are sitting on a cruise ship at the moment, and their room steward is opening a bottle of Chianti to have while they are watching this broadcast. If there are fava beans involved, you should leave the room. But Chianti, I guess that'll work. We lost tunes. We had tunes. Those tunes were brought to us by David and Chris, as I recall. Right? Yep, a band that they knew. What else are we doing? We start with a toast, right? Toast is usually how we begin things. And there's a rule on Lovecraft Cocktails that you should always try opening your bottles ahead of time and make sure that the bottles can be opened. Rules are meant to be broken. So we're doing that. Last week, if you were watching last week's broadcast, you know that we happen to be in Champaign, Urbana, Illinois. And Illinois is not Virginia. There are somewhat different laws on what alcohol you can buy. And one of the things that we picked up was something we had not yet seen in our local area, which is Plantation's 2009 Trinidad rum. This rum was tropically aged for 11 years and then a single year continental aged. So what's the difference there? Well, continental aging has a lot more expansion and contraction of the barrels because of the heat and cold extremes, mostly the heat extremes, whereas the continental is, it's north of France. It's not that. I mean, it's kind of temperate. So as a consequence, it ages slower there. 11 years is a long time for tropical aging. So this should have some significant wood and vanilla notes in it. Pretty little bottle. This is following in the usual plantation style. They've got their new brightly colored label here, tells you where it's from, gives you the distillation date, and then on the back it gives you much more information about that particular bottling. They've sealed this with a plastic cap, so we're going to have to take that off. And I'm going to look here and make sure that, yes, I'm pressing not on the blade. That would be good. There we go. There we go. Plastic cap off. Next, we've got a sealing label here. So we're going to open that right there. Ta-da. And here we go. There we have a 12-year age Trinidad rum. Yippee. Looking forward to this. We've got 2 tasting glasses. There is no studio audience this evening, so it's just us. Mwahaha. Well, that's not entirely true. There are 2 others in the house. There is a healthy emo, knock on wood, dear cat who had been, dare I say, potentially at death's door. He had lost a significant amount of weight and was not holding down food. Has put all of his weight back on. We're getting blood tests tomorrow to let us know, what else might be going on. But he's put his weight back on. His appetite is good. His coat is healthy. Other biological functions of his seem to be healthy that you don't need to hear about. So we're going to toast to the health of our cat. The second new addition to the household is we went out and got a Christmas tree. And we lucked out. We went to multiple lots, and we were walking off the lot, and I went, well, let's check those trees over there. And it turned out those were the trees. They weren't really set to sell yet.
They had just come in 2 hours before.
They'd come in 2 hours before from Oregon. So they're very fresh, very fragrant. Fragrant? I mean,
Ilmafoot?
Yeah. Have not even had any rum yet. Maybe that's the problem.
Oh, okay.
All right. Trinidad, age 12 years. I could tell you what kinds of wood it was aged on and that sort of thing, but I'd have to look at the bottle. So maybe I'll post that later. Maybe I won't. We're going to drink this.
2 emo. Maybe he'll make an appearance.
2 emo.
And he gets his
right.
blood work tomorrow to see
hot.
if his numbers are better.
It's going to be 51.8%.
Okay.
So there's going to be a little heat to this. A little bit of heat. That's 102, 103.6 for those of you that are tracking this by proof.
There's spice to it.
There is. Those wood notes at the end are amazing. They're really cool.
Yeah.
Often you can get this real, just like I'm chewing on a bit of a tree kind of taste of the wood, and it just sucks all the moisture out. That's not the case here. In fact, there's almost a burst of acid because my mouth is just doing the water thing at the end.
That is
quality.
Pretty.
There's some dried citrus notes.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And
this is going to pair well with allspice dram.
I want to say burnt stone fruit.
Burnt stone fruit.
Yeah.
So
like
burnt
a
peach.
Toasted cherry, toasted peach.
Oh, okay.
Peach,
apricot.
Yeah, that
nectarine.
I
don't know. I wouldn't roast a nectarine. For some reason, that sounds bad. Yeah.
But that roasted stone
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is quite good. This was not inexpensive, but it wasn't break the bank, and this is really tasty. I've been
very pleased with the plantation.
Yeah. Now, so there have been some complaints. Plantation does use a dosage process, which means they add sugar back in, not on all their rums, but some of their rums.
Right.
Have no idea whether or not they do it with this rum, but this is quite tasty. You might also note that that French practice of dosage is done for champagnes as well. So for all of you that are like, oh, you're a champagne. It's yeah, they put sugar in that too. So just chilled out. Okay. All right. So good rum. What else have we got here?
Some of it we showed last week.
A bunch of the stuff we showed last week, and we will make use of some of that this week. What I did want to call out.
Hooray for healthy emo.
I did want to call out something that I don't think we showed off, which is our dear friend Bam, who we don't see nearly as often as we would like to. She's hole up in Champaign-Urbana. She gifted us with a couple of things, including a sampler pack of salts and sugars for cocktails. And so we have some red and some blue cocktail salt for rimming glasses, the margarita salt. And then on sugars, we have a pink sugar, which is berry flavored, a chocolate martini sugar, and then we have a caramel vanilla sugar, which I'm thinking that's going to go really well with a whole bunch of the kind of cocktails that we like to do around here. So that's another thing you don't normally see me doing for garnishes, is rimming the cocktail glasses, mostly because it takes a while to get that right. And I'm usually, gotta move, gotta move. And speaking of moving, we need to make a cocktail. Okay, so one of the things that we wanted to do is we keep saying it makes a difference whether or not you use fresh citrus. We also say that, look, most of your cocktails that are coming from Tiki Canon, the original recipes were based in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, and the predominant grapefruit during that time period was the white grapefruit, not the pink grapefruit, not the ruby red grapefruit. Both of those are far sweeter than this guy. So as a consequence, let's see what the cocktails taste like with fresh white grapefruit juice. Hey, as long as we are doing that, because these guys are hard to come by, let's go ahead and taste it against the thing that you usually see me doing, which is reaching for my can of Ocean Spray 100% white grapefruit juice. So we are in fact going to do a taste-off of 3 different cocktails, and we're going to use canned white grapefruit juice and actual fresh squeezed white grapefruit juice to do the comparison. So we want to give this a fair shake here. See what I did there? Actually, we're not going to be shaking a whole lot. And I want to use grapefruit in 3 different types of cocktails. So the first cocktail, well, they're all tiki cocktails, but that's beside the point. The first is a cocktail that is built off of the Corpse Survivor #2 family of drinks. And this is a drink called the Necromancer, and it comes out of the Lost Lake bar in Chicago, which we've not had a chance to have go to yet. Lost Lake was in some ways, could be wrong here, in some ways I think it was an offshoot of Three Dots and a Dash. I think one of the head bartenders moved from Three Dots and a Dash and opened up their own place, Lost Lake. Could be wrong on that one, but in any case, we've got the Necromancer. So how are we going to do the Necromancer? Well, first of all, it's a shaken drink, so we are going to do some shaking.
Looks like the real grapefruit is still a bit green. I think it's the lighting.
So it may be the lighting. There is some greenness on the grapefruit. There is a chance that's from the tissue paper it was packed with. But the actual grapefruit juice here, I know it looks green. It's in a green tinted bottle. Sue me, but it's not actual green. Wow, that really has kind of a fluorescent look to it, doesn't it? Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. By the way, this container, this is 7 ounces here of grapefruit juice. That came off of 1 grapefruit.
Wow, those are juicy. 1
grapefruit. By comparison, that's 3 limes. So, all right. But I also got an inordinate amount from the limes too. I got almost 2 ounces of juice from each lime. Anyway, so what are we going to do here? We are going to go. We're going to start with a 1/2 ounce of falernum.
Keith likes your portrait on the wall.
My portrait on the wall. Portrait on the wall. Those 2 can be yours if you want them. You just have to follow the link that Star is going to post, such that we don't make any money off of these, by the way. But
our friend Sam does.
But our friend Sam does, and that's pretty awesome. So what are we going to do? 1/2 ounce falernum. There's a 1/2 ounce. Another 1/2 ounce. So we've got clove, lime peel, almond, a few dozen other things sitting in the velvet falernum. It's a flavorful cocktail syrup that just shows up a lot in most tiki cocktail, in a lot of tiki cocktails. And someday, I'm going to get around to making my own, but not tonight. Next up, 3/4 ounce of grapefruit juice. So, all right, what I have to do here is keep these 2 things separate, right? So 3/4 ounce, right there, 3/4 ounce, fresh squeezed. And then 3/4 ounce, wow, even the color is different, of the canned. It's okay, all right, there we go. 3/4 ounce of an aromatized fortified wine, which in this case we are using what they use at Lost Lake, which is Cochi Americano. This jar of Cochi Americano is maybe a little long in the tooth, but it has been sealed. Has not been opened and closed and opened and closed. It has been stored in the fridge. So, you know, yeah, that smells like Cokie Americano. Should be just fine. It does not smell dry or musty or oxidized. All of which are pretty obvious smells. You can tell when your vermouth or your other wine has gone off. And if you're at a bar and you notice that the bar keeps its vermouth on the back shelf and there's dust on it, yeah, don't order drinks with vermouth from those bars. All right, so now we get to the rum portion of this, and I'm going to vary the rums with the cocktails that we do. So this cocktail, the Necromancer, actually uses a rum agricole. Again, rum agricoles are made from fresh sugarcane squeezings, not from molasses, not from sugarcane syrup. So they have a very different flavor to them. Now, the rum agricole that is used at Lost Lake for this drink is Nissan, and we do not have any Nissan, but what we do have is Hamilton's La Favorite, and so we're going to go ahead and use that. It's also kind of a cool looking bottle, right? There you go. And so, ounce and a half. And some of you may be cueing into the fact that we are not playing the usual Exotica music, nor are we playing like the Halloween type music that we've been playing for a while. No, what we are playing is Christmas music, sort of. So the bar is called Lovecraft Cocktails, and as a consequence, we do Christmas around here a little bit differently. And this is a very scary solstice. Either that or it is the second album. A very
It's the first one.
Okay, this is the first one. This is a very scary solstice, and it is produced by the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society, and this forms the basis of a lot of what I listen to during Christmas. That and Rat Pack singles about Christmas, because yeah, there's a little bit of that. So what are we going to do with these two? Okay, well, first of all, look, they're different colors, right? Here is the canned, here is the fresh. Okay. Second, we're going to load these up with some ice, then we're going to lid them, and we're going to shake them, and both of these are going to go into coops. So I need a couple of coops. Here's some coops. I might as well chill the coop a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to reach in with my hands, deal with it. There's one. There we go. And ice there. Scoop it right there. And just a little bit more. There's 4 more cubes. And 2, 3, 4 more cubes there. Both of those are now filled. Lid them and shake them. Right. There we go. Feels a little loose to me. Very cold, which is the way I want it. Here we go. This is the fresh. This is the canned. Oh, the rum agricole is coming through loud and clear on this. We're going to double strain these. Reach over, grab strainer, pitch the ice. Hawthorne strainer, tea strainer, poured in. Now, according to the picture from Lost Lake, this is served just like that with no garnish. Okay, we're going to switch over. Do the same thing here. Chilled glass. Do, 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 do. There we go. We have 2 Necromancers. One, the canned Necromancer. 2, the fresh Necromancer. So, I don't know, fresh grave, old grave? I don't never had this drink before. So, let's give this a try.
Pooch does a better shake than our bartender 50 feet from here.
So, I'm going to reach over, we're going to grab the fresh one. That rum agricole is pretty aggressive. Reach in here. I'm quite honestly not picking up a ton of grapefruit notes.
No.
Although I will say, there is something off-putting about the one on the right. This is brighter.
The grapefruit does not shine in this drink.
No, you're not getting a lot of grapefruit flavor in this drink. But in terms of the brightness, the acidity,
Yes. That is more acidic and
right.
more grapefruit.
And I think it's a better balanced drink.
Yes.
I'm not a huge fan of the Necromancer, as it turns out. But I like this one better than I like that one.
Okay.
So this lends me to go, is there something I can do about this? Well, let's see.
I don't know what he's doing.
I do stuff.
Yeah, he does.
Stuff and things. Okay, no, I don't want them
So,
to be wrong.
David, if your bartender is not shaking as well, maybe you should have him watch the video.
Oh!
Oh!
Would you hand me the white knife? Not the little one. Nope, that one. Yep, please, thank you. All right, so what we're going to do here, we're going to shake this.
He's going to cut on an uneven surface.
Yeah. Hey, I put down a cutting board.
Fresh 1, canned 0.
And then we're going to take the fresh grapefruit peel. We'll do that.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to run the grapefruit peel around. Shove that in there. We're going to do the same with the other one.
Oh.
I'm going to run this around and throw that in there. How'd we do now?
That adds the scent component.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, and you can tell this does not match the scent.
No?
No.
It has roughly the same grapefruity scent.
Right?
You're right.
Interesting. So adding the fresh grapefruit rind to the canned grapefruit
I don't think it helps it.
does not help it. It hurts it.
I think it makes it a little bit worse, in fact.
Yeah. So I'm gonna
fish out your grapefruit rind?
fish out the grapefruit rind.
I'm gonna have a sip of water.
Because my guess is you're gonna keep that one. So
Are you okay with that?
I'm okay.
Do you want to if you want to clean these, you can. But right now, the rest of our drinks are going to be blended, so I don't need to have shake. I don't need to do the shaky.
I'll leave that for you.
However, oh shoot, I do not have my syrups from the back room, so I need my spiced syrup, and I need some demerara syrup. I think the demerara syrup's not marked; it's just dark. And this is what I get for being away from my home bar for a week and being out of practice doing this sort of thing. So we did mention last week that we went on a bit of a journey to Champaign-Urbana, and in doing so, we stopped at a couple of bars. We stopped at the Inferno Room in Indianapolis, and we stopped at Hidden Harbor in Pittsburgh. And when we did so, we picked up swag because, well, we do, that sort of thing. The next couple of drinks that we're going to do, which is the third oath, require Mai Tai glasses. So we're going to make use of brand new Mai Tai glasses. I will have the dear wife rinse these out. Here's the Inferno Room glass, and this is the Hidden Harbor glass, which, you know, I can make these more visible. Bingo. There we go. I'll do this. So Hidden Harbor glass. Right? It's got the mermaid. It says Hidden Harbor on it. It's got a marlin. Note also just how well that white tissue paper works for making the design show up. Here you go, Inferno Room. It's got the skulls, and it actually says the Inferno Room on it, so you can tell where it's from. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make drinks in those two. Star, could you rinse these two glasses out for me? Because they're dirty glasses. I don't know.
They're not dirty. They're just new.
Oh, here's our Quarantine Live.
Oh.
It's right here, underneath this.
Okay.
We were looking for our little banner that says, hey, we're going live, and we couldn't find it. Turns out it was on the bar. Who knew? On your glasses. So second drink. Second drink is a cocktail called the Third Oath. Now, the Third Oath is from a bartender by the name of Jason Alexander. And Jason Alexander runs the Devil's Reef out of, I think it's Tacoma, Washington. And we were introduced to Jason Alexander via Matt Petrick and the Museum of Distilled Spirits. And Jason does some fantastic drinks, and his bars are Lovecraftian themed. So, hello. Yeah, that's a natural match made in heaven. And it is sad that when we went out to Seattle, we didn't make it down to Tacoma to actually make it to one of Jason's bars. But it's on the list. We will do that at some point.
David said thanks for showing the glasses because he could see them much better tonight.
Yeah, doesn't that work much better with the stuffing the white tissue in
we
there?
also had no tripod and all kinds
Oh,
of...
last week. Oh, yeah. Last week we were shoestring here. Okay, these are going to be blended drinks, so we're going to use 2 blender tins. When I'm done with these drinks, I will need another set of 2 blender tins, so at least one of them will have to be washed. Okay, we start with a ½ ounce of spiced syrup. So when Jason Alexander is making this drink, he uses cinnamon syrup. I don't have cinnamon syrup on hand. I don't keep it on hand. What I do is I keep my spiced syrup, which has cinnamon in it, but it has a whole bunch of other things as well. So we are going 1½ ounces of spiced syrup. That is a lot of spiced syrup, Jason. So we're going to see if we've got enough here. So there's 3/4. We're going to do the same here. La 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 la. 3/4. Ruh-roh. Ruh-roh raggy. I think we got it. Okay, so there's 3/4. Okay, that's 1½. Hey, guess what I get to make sometime this week? More spiced syrup. I'm going to need some spiced syrup to take with me northward. Oh, look at this. 3/4 of an ounce. Perfect. Perfection. It's going to be that kind of night. We hope. By the way, the Dolphins won. That's their 5th game in a row that they've won. So yay to my beloved Dolphins. That's a football, sports ball reference for those of you that don't know. Next up, we are still pairing the grapefruit juice with falernum. So we're going to go 1/2 ounce of falernum here. Now, Jason uses Bitter Truth falernum. We're using John D. Taylor's Velvet falernum. The Velvet falernum was actually called for with the Necromancer. Either of these falernums is good. I do have some Bitter Truth back there, but I don't think I have enough. I don't think I have a full ounce of the Bitter Truth left. I might, but I'm not going to worry about it. What we are going to do is go, wow, that was way too much. I need a place to put this. Oh, right, I've got another jigger over here. I'll do this. Pour this into the gorgeous OXO jigger right here. And what I can do is then just pour this right back in. We need 1/2 ounce. Yeah, I completely overshot. I went almost a full ounce. So there's that. And not quite. So ½ ounce velvet falernum. There you go. Next up is the grapefruit juice. And here we're actually going to go with a split sour base here. It's ½ ounce of grapefruit and 1 ounce of lime juice. So that we get to see how it pairs with lime juice, which the vast majority of your recipes that use grapefruit juice also do in fact pair it with lime. I think part of that is because of the pH level. All right, so that goes there. And then we need the white grapefruit juice, ½ ounce here. There. And then we're going to go fresh lime juice, 1 ounce for each. It is really weird sometimes doing this with the incense sitting in front of me because these tendrils of smoke just roll across the jigger and make it a little harder to read the lines. But I like the effect of having the smoke drift across the screen, so that's what we're doing. We're keeping with it. At least until somebody convinces me otherwise. Next up, we could go with a split base of rums or something else, but what Jason Alexander does in the original configuration for this is he uses Plantation's OFTD rum, and we have that rum somewhere. I pulled it. There it is. Where'd it go? So the OFTD is almost 70%, so almost 140 proof. It is 69%. This is a rum that was handcrafted. This is the rum that is the result of a committee of people working, including Jeff Berry, Martin Cate, PJ McFadden, David Wondrich, etc., etc.
Flint Candle Company makes great incense if you're a Christmas shopper.
Oh, right. The incense here, in case you missed that, this incense is all brought to you and has been for the better part of a year, year and a half, has been brought to you by Flint Candle Company, and we love their stuff. Lots of different great scents, and they do like a, I forget what the Christmas one is, but it's phenomenally good for like Christmas. It's great. I don't remember.
I'll look it up.
Star, look it up. We'll get there. 2½ ounces, by the way, of the OFTD. I'm going to switch over to the OXO, because it's just going to be a little easier to get full 2½. So there's 2. And there's 2. I'm going to rinse out my jigger with the rum as well. So we're going to go back here for the ½ ounce.
Lingonberry wreath.
The Lingonberry wreath, that's the one. Yep. This is not the Lingonberry wreath. This is Grand Canyon that we are currently smelling. Well, Star and I are. I don't know what the rest of you are smelling. David and Chris are smelling Chianti and ocean air. Jelly, just a tad. Actually, if they're sitting in their stateroom, they're smelling closed-in cabin air, so that's maybe whatever. Also, this requires a dash of absinthe. Oh, right. I brought my Mister of Absinthe with me to Champaign-Urbana, and I was like, "Oh no, my absinthe is all in that cocktail bin my travel bin," but it's not. My Mister is, but my dasher is not. Now, these dashes are a little heavy, so this may come out a little absinthe-y. That's okay, right? That's fine. 2 dashes aromatic bitters. Guarantee you that when it comes to aromatic bitters, they mean Angostura bitters. We're not doing that. We're going to go ahead and use tiki bitters instead. Because why? Because I can. So there's Bitterman's tiki bitters. So, Jason, you will excuse me if I go off book here. We're going to go 1 dash. There's a dash. There's a dash. And there's a dash. There we go. Ow! Small cut on my finger, and bitters is alcoholic. Ow. Whew. Oh, that's tasty, but ow. All right, we're going to flash blend this with some crushed ice. There's some grapefruit peel, crushed ice, scoop. You should know my scoop is sitting right here. There we go, full scoop. Flash blend, so like 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, done. All right, and my paper towels have gone wandering, so this will just leak all over the bar mat. That's all right. That's what bar mats are for. Mai Tai glasses right behind me. Open pour. All right, like that. That's the one. Next up, full scoop. Goes there. 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Call it quits.
Your paper towels are right in front of you.
Are they? They are. I'm blind, deaf, but I still make a decent cocktail.
Yeah.
At least I've been told that. All right, and then this goes in here. And then we're going to top these off with a little more ice. It's just the thing we do. Right. Trying to get as close to the same level of dilution as we can. So the canonical garnish for this would be a cinnamon stick with some mint. So that's great, that's fine. We have cinnamon sticks. We don't have any mint. Well, that's not true. We do have mint. I opened the bag and said, no, we don't have mint. So we're not doing that. What I do have is a couple of sticks here of Ceylonese cinnamon, right? And I'm going to stick, actually what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to reach over and grab my torch because I want to do this. I want a little bit of flame. I do. I'm just going to take these guys, stick them on end, put them close to one another. Get those nice and glowy hot. There we go. And then we're going to stick those in there. Nice glowy embers. Right. Dun dun dun. Then we're going to use straws. Whose straws should we use this evening, hun?
Do we know any straw makers?
I don't know.
FYI,
We might.
You have missed Christmas shipping for
Surfside Sips.
Surfside Sips.
Yeah, sadly, they have a lot of, well, not sadly, they have a lot of orders this year, and as a consequence, they're not going to be able to get any more orders out by Christmas.
Any orders placed now are shipped after January.
So here we go. We have 2 of the Third Oath coming to you from coming to you from Devil's Reef in Tacoma, Washington, by Jason Alexander. A little riff because we went with the tiki bitters and we're lighting up the cinnamon here.
David says, "Oh look, burning tree bark."
Burning tree bark, yay! And this should last, I don't know, about a minute or so before this will go out entirely. I have hair in my mouth. What's that from? Be careful when doing this. I'm going to actually pull the straw out and take a sip. Both of us have long hair. Oh, Jason, damn you. And then we're going to swap around. I have an opinion.
I do not have a difference.
My opinion is that if your sour component is 2/3 lime, 1/3 grapefruit juice, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other ingredients in your cocktail,
Fresh doesn't matter.
yeah, go ahead and use the white grapefruit juice. If we had taken all of the lime juice out and replaced it with all grapefruit juice, maybe there'd be a difference there. But the lime is doing the heavy lifting in terms of the sour component, and so I don't think there's really any discernible difference, at least to my palate,
Right.
from these.
Now, are you going to make something like a greyhound? Something that's just grapefruit and alcohol?
I wasn't planning on it,
Okay.
but I could, I suppose. Wait.
I don't want fresh grapefruit in the not fresh. Remember, that made it
She said it made it worse.
bad last time.
I can't imagine it's going to actually
Change.
change anything. Jason, that's quite a tasty drink. From my perspective, it might be just a tad on the sweet side. However, if memory serves, I think Mr. Alexander makes his syrups at 1.5 to 1 ratio instead of a
Yeah.
2 to 1 ratio, and my syrup is a 2 to 1 ratio. So that could be the problem right there. Not problem. It's still a great drink. Quite tasty. The grapefruit juice doesn't. It's not distinguishable between the two. But if your primary component for your sour is going to be grapefruit, as with the first drink, it seemed to make a significant difference. Okay, so there we go. We got 2 drinks. One where we had a significant difference, one where we did not have a significant difference. And it's just the ratios, which you would expect that would matter. That box can go there. Christmas present to us from the Inferno room. From us to us. I think you saw it last week. But now you can see it a little up close. Here's the Tiki Farm label on the bottom. And this is the Inferno room's red skull mug. Yeah, I think this looks much better in this lighting and this camera. See? The Inferno room. Indianapolis. Dun dun dun. That's going to go up here for now. Right there. Off screen where you can't see it. Sorry, you can't see it. Okay, 2 drinks down, 1 drink to go. So we've done the singular rum agricole, and then we've done...
So David ranked this fresh, no score, canned, no score.
Sure, so we still have fresh winning.
Yes.
So for the 3rd drink, my plan was to do a Navy Grog. So the Navy Grog is going to swap out the falernum for allspice dram. It's going to use Demerara syrup instead of the spice syrup. The sour base is split between grapefruit and lime, but it's split even proportions. And then it uses 3 different rums. So instead of using the OFTD, which is a blend, it's going to use the Smith & Cross, which is an overproof Jamaican.
We have a yes for the Navy Grog.
Yes, for the Navy Grog. We're going to use an aged Demerara rum, so that's from Guyana. We're going to use Eldorado 8. And then for the last one, you want an aged column still rum, and we're going to go ahead and use the Diplomatico. We're going to actually use Diplomatico Añejo, which I know is aged. So the other option there would be, we could have gone an entirely different direction, which is just make like a daiquiri, but using the grapefruit juice instead of the lime juice, and to see what that would do. That's a yummy drink. A little sweet, but that's a yummy drink. It probably really appeals to Star, because she likes her drinks a little bit on the sweeter side. Okay, so a Navy Grog. This also is a blended drink, so I need one of my blender tins rinsed. So I need the 1/4 ounce of the Demerara syrup. getting a little low on the Demerara syrup as well. And I didn't open this bottle ahead of time either. Obviously, since it was in the fridge. What is that? Oh, that's rum. So we're just going to pour that on top here. Whee. There you go. You can go that. Quarter ounce, right? Quarter ounce. Just a quarter ounce of Demerara syrup. Okay, we're a little over. I just need to make sure that we go a little over on the second one as well. It's a fat quarter ounce. Yep, right to the same line. Good. All right. Demerara syrup. So what's the Demerara syrup? This is nothing more than a simple syrup, but it's made with Demerara sugar, which is a little more raw sugar than your white sugar. It is very different from brown sugar. Most of the brown sugars in the United States are in fact white sugar to which they have added molasses products back in order to get the brown color and to change the taste slightly differently. The Demerara sugar is not that. The Demerara sugar still has the impurities in it. It's not refined white sugar. They've added stuff back in. Quarter ounce allspice dram, and here we're using St. Elizabeth's allspice dram. This is, as some people have said, this is fruitcake in a bottle. That's probably the best way to describe this. Don't you think, hon? Oh, yeah. Oh. It goes really well over ice creams, like a lot of these things do. Only a quarter ounce of the allspice dram. It's very potent stuff. There we go, quarter ounce. Clearly, I haven't put speed porters on these things. Quarter ounce. Gotta love H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society. You get these weird reactions as people come in and they're listening to your Christmas music and they're like, oh, it's Christmas music, yay, what? He's got orifices where his hands should be. What are you talking about? Yeah, it's totally fun. All right, 3/4 of an ounce grapefruit juice. Rinse the jigger. 3/4 of an ounce. And 3/4 of an ounce. So, word of caution on the grapefruit juice. Unfortunately, while I really love the flavor of grapefruit juice, and it is my morning juice of choice, grapefruit juice also is a little problematic in that it has interactions with a large number of different drugs. And so you kind of want to be careful about letting your patrons know that they're drinking grapefruit juice, especially if it's a significant amount of grapefruit juice. Now, in most cases, the amount of grapefruit juice that's going into these cocktails isn't going to harm anybody. But if you did something that was truly grapefruit forward, that could be a problematic interaction with their drugs. So just word of caution. 3/4 of an ounce lime juice. So even split. Getting better. I'm feeling a little more comfortable this evening than previous weeks. I don't know what's going on with that, but
You're at your home bar?
Well, it's not just that I'm at my home bar. The last couple of weeks, things have seemed a little rushed and not quite as smooth. And tonight seems okay. Hopefully it's coming across. Smithing cross, right? 1 ounce overproof Jamaican blended rum. 1 ounce. 1 ounce. There we go. Next, we need a Guyanese rum, and we are going to go with El Dorado. So, Guyanese rums, there is only one distiller that I know of in Guyana anymore. They were the last one standing. They have the vast majority of interesting stills from all of the other distillers, and they use them. In fact, Pusser's is a Guyanese rum at this point, and they have special requests of what stills get used in order to produce their rum and what amounts from what stills, which gives Pusser's that unique flavor, even though it's primarily a Demerara rum. So you can't just substitute Pusser's for an El Dorado 8, or vice versa. You can get close, but it's different. 1 ounce of this as well. And yes, this is going to be an interesting evening because the Navy Grog is also not a weak drink with 3 full ounces of rum in them, and one of those is in fact an overproof. So, yippee. And I still have 2 drinks in front of me. I'll take it slow.
But I get to drink this week, unlike last week.
Yeah, last week, poor Star, she in fact had to drive. I certainly wasn't driving. So she had to drive, which meant she had to limit what she could drink, like she could taste. That was it. Last up, we are going to do a column still rum that has been aged. And here I'm going to use the Diplomatico Añejo. Well, that cork is a little on the dry side. Well, there's no affording it. Might as well use it. So I have a second bottle of the Diplomatico Añejo. It is not made anymore. So that's the last bottle. That's why we picked up the second bottle when I saw it. It was like, oh, oh, full ounce of this. This is 40%. Yeah, 40%. I don't find this as sweet as the Diplomatico Exclusiva. And I actually kind of like this rum a little bit better than that rum, although it's a little less complex. There we go. Getting there, getting close. I mean, it's still basically sealed. There's a little bit of give on the cork, but it's at that point it's still sealed. So we're not getting any air in there. So we're still good. It's all good. What else are we doing? That's it. That's all that goes into the Navy Grog. You could add some bitters if you want to.
Brooke says, nice. Love a Navy Grog.
We are going to add, it's blended drink, so we're going to add, you can shake this drink. You just add crushed ice, shake, shake, shake. Or you can blend it, which is what we're going to do, because it's just easier at this point to do that. So we're going to do a full scoop, crushed ice. This is done, don't need that. So here's a scoop. And 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. And I'm going to wipe that down. Set that there. Do the same with this. Oop, here's my scoop. Oh, that's a little light on that scoop. There we go. By the way, so Martin Kate, in his book Smuggler's Cove, and at his bar, he suggests adding a couple of larger agitator cubes when you're doing these crushed ice blends. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. Frankly, I don't really notice much of a difference. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. Go. All we're doing here is putting all the ingredients together, getting a little bit of aeration. That's all you want. There you go. There we have 2 Smuggler's Cove style Navy Grogs. And I need, excuse me a second, we're going to just disappear for a moment.
Oh, no!
Because I need to go down here to get a couple of Mai Tai glasses. There we go. What do we have here? We have a generic Red Dragon glass. So these are, you can get these on almost any tiki mug collection, like Amazon, that sort of thing. But, you know, it's a Red Dragon. It's kind of red Oriental Dragon. It's kind of cool. And the other one, where's the other one from? The other one is from Tony's on the Pier. That's at Redondo Beach, California. We now have we had friends that are down by Redondo Beach because they work down there. And now we have other friends that happen to be in the area because they've picked up and moved and left us out. But we can drink without them. So, all right, there's one Navy Grog. Here's a second Navy Grog. We are going to fill those with a little more crushed ice. There we go. Grogs are great. They're strong drinks. You can also play with the grog as you will. So you could load this up with some crushed ice or flake ice across the top, and then assault it with some bitters of your choice to kind of make it your own. Or you can just leave it like it is, which is what we're going to do here. I'm going to stick a
David
straw there.
notices a color difference again.
Yes, there is in fact a color difference. The lighter color, slightly darker color. Yeah, this is I don't know. So this has got a black insignia on it, which might be altering the color balance a little bit. This just seems it pops a little bit more in terms of the color, at least to my eye. What else are we going to do with this? Well, as long as we have these wonderful little grapefruit rind. So what I did was I took the grapefruit rind and ran a peeler over it before I juiced them, so that I would have grapefruit rind to garnish with. Right. And you can just take these guys.
We're going to take one of the Dizzy Diva picks.
I could do that. So we could do, you can.
Which is another Christmas idea
Oh!
for people that are Christmas shopping.
Oh, yeah, you are. So you can take, you can do this with any citrus peel, right? So you can wrap it around in like a little circle. And what do you think? The Lego figures?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Lego figure picks. See the little, can't really tell, sorry. But as long as I'm working my way through a Lego advent calendar, we might as well do that. And what you can do with these guys, once you've done the little wrap, you can stick mint leaves in there, and the mint leaves will come right out of that. Or you can put like a cherry in there. Or you can do a lychee with a blueberry stuffed in it, so it looks like there's like an eyeball is staring back at you.
Yeah.
In this case, we don't need to do that because the pick has a person's head on it.
Oh,
so,
okay. Okay.
You know, she's on a pike or something. I don't know. Wow, this is a bit longer than the other one. Note also that I'm trying to learn that a lot of times the tiki drinks do benefit from sitting a little bit.
Yeah.
And so while this is the thing I've missed with the doing garnishes and that sort of thing, is that while I'm sitting here making the garnishes, the drink is actually sitting.
Yes.
And that's maybe a good thing. Going to roll this. Sorry, David, there is no smacking of the mint this evening. It's just not going to happen. But, you know, might as well cowboy up about that. And actually, that's an Aussie dude.
It is an Aussie dude.
And we'll just stick that there. And I would love to stick something else in there as a garnish, but I don't know what. So we're just going to stick that like that.
Okay.
Speaking of garnishes, so our Bam, once again, Bam got us this stuff, which I got to say, I didn't take a close look at.
Oh, okay.
So I assumed when I saw the orange on here, I saw orange and syrup, and I thought, oh, this is an orange syrup to use in cocktails. And you just pour a little orange syrup in. No. This is orange twist or orange peel in syrup. So yeah, as I look at it through light, I can see the orange peel in here, and I'm like, oh, that's going to be yummy. It's a cocktail garnish. It's not a cocktail ingredient per se. All right. So there we go. We have Navy Grogs. Star's going to start with the real grapefruit juice. And I'll start with the real grapefruit juice that's been put in a can.
Mmm. Now grapefruit comes through in this drink.
Okay.
That's a big difference.
There's a weird flavor in that. I'm not sure what that is. I made these the same, didn't I? Hands down, that's better.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, white grapefruit is hard to get, but and so this is a fine option. That's a That's a massively better drink.
It
I mean,
is.
that's not even like, oh, they're close, but I have a slight preference for this. I would much rather drink that. Wow, that's Oh, and then the navy grog hits. So here's you get the grapefruit kind of up front. There's a citrusy, limey, grapefruity. Grapefruit has a hint of this flowery component to it that limes and lemons don't have, which are just kind of like punchy sour. You get that off of this one. I don't off of this one. And then as the back palate hits and the flavors are kind of dissolving on the tongue, you can almost walk yourself through the different rums that are there. The Smith and Cross was an excellent choice. You got just a hint of the Jamaican funk. If we'd gone with something like the Hamden Great House, it would overpower the Navy Grog. It's certainly not a sweet drink. This is definitely a savory drink. So for those of you that like savory cocktails, Navy Grog, definitely a good one. All right, what else do we got? I think honestly, I think that's about it.
Fresh takes the evening.
Fresh takes the evening, yeah.
Fresh 2, canned 0.
Which coincidentally makes it essentially the same score as the World Chess Championship because Magnus Carlsen won a second game against Ian Nepolovich, and yeah, that pretty much ends that. It's going to be impossible for Nepo to crawl out of that particular hole.
I would like you to pour just a little taste of the
One
fresh and the can.
Okay, we can do that. So what Star has asked me to do is just do a straight up tasting. So fresh grapefruit juice, canned grapefruit juice. Both been sitting out on the counter for about the same time. I'm going to disappear for a moment while I get out some tasting glasses. We have these cute little cordial glasses. Aren't they just adorable? So I served up some Drambuie in these glasses the other night, and the folks that were trying Drambuie for the first time were like, "These glasses are so cute!" I'm like, yeah, they are. All right, so we are going to go fresh white grapefruit juice. And yes, had we had studio guests, we might have actually done pink grapefruit juice as well as a comparison.
Ah.
But there's only 2 of us here, and there's only so much we can drink. And apparently we're not getting very far on this because I've barely touched the third oath.
I like the third oath a lot.
Well, yeah, but the third oath is okay. The third oath is a little on the sweet side. So there's your color difference.
Wow.
I should point out, these are, according to the can, this is white grapefruit juice. Looking at that, I would have suspected that is pink or ruby red grapefruit juice. But it is not.
Does say white grapefruit juice.
It says 100% white grapefruit juice. Huh. I expected that to be... So I did not actually taste these ahead of time. I expected that to be a lot more pungent than it is. Yeah, that's pretty mild. Pretty freaking mild for grapefruit juice.
Yeah. I mean, the canned has a stronger grapefruit juice taste.
Yeah. But tasting side by side, I think I can also detect the metallic taste of the can.
Yeah.
Which I can't do normally.
Right.
It's like, oh, grapefruit juice, yum!
Yeah.
Right? Tasting this way, it's like, what is that? There's a little metallic. Did I cut my tongue or something? You know, little. It's not quite coppery, but
Oh.
that's quite good. It is really mild, though.
It is
I'm
very
shocked how mild that is.
Yeah.
If I were served this as a glass of white grapefruit juice,
You would think it was watered down
I would think it was a little watered down, and I would just down it.
Yeah.
Whereas like a really tart, pungent
Right,
grapefruit juice, you sometimes go, oh, I can't actually just knock this back.
Today on Lovecraft Cocktails
Today.
Facebook group, I posted the YouTube link to episode 7 as I'm going through and editing and touching up and all that stuff and getting them all on YouTube finally. And the reason I bring it up is episode 7 is where we talk about the things you need for the bar.
Yes. So episode 7 was one of the, well, it was obviously it was episode 7, so it was very early on.
Right. But we talk about, like, the shakers and the jiggers and and that type of stuff. So
and we have not actually revisited some of that, which we should. So things like, here's a jigger. We
actually had the Leopold.
Here's a jigger. And my Leopold jigger is actually in my travel case.
No, because in the episode we talked about the Japanese jigger, the Leopold jigger, and the Oxo jigger.
Oh, so, did we?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, I've had this longer than I thought I did.
Yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
Cool.
So if you are looking, again, it's that shopping season. I have been doing
that last
Christmas
was
shopping.
Much more grapefruity than the previous ones. I don't know why. Settles quickly,
there's some
I
things
guess.
on there for your budding home cocktail aficionado.
So based on that last sip, I would say make sure you shake your white grapefruit, your fresh squeezed white grapefruit juice.
Every pour?
Every pour. Yep. Because that last bit.
So shake it and pour a little bit more.
Because we have some.
We can also have grapefruits for breakfast.
We can. We probably will. So oddly enough, and I think we may be the only family that ever did this. We would take grapefruit halves and we'd sprinkle brown sugar across the top of the grapefruit and we'd microwave it. And it just softened the grapefruit and melted the grapefruit juice.
But now you don't have to microwave it because you have...
Oh, I could brulee it.
You could brulee it.
But no, the warm grapefruit itself was just yummy. And it also split off of the...
that is a little more pronounced.
Yeah.
So definitely shake each pour.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yum. All right, so there you go. You got Lovecraft Cocktails number 86, The Gift of Grapefruit. Thank you so much, David and Chris. And we have way more grapefruit than we know what to do with. So I looked it up. And Martin Kate, Smuggler's Cove, says, if you want to store your citrus, the thing to do is store it in the fridge, but don't store it loose in the fridge. Shove it in Ziploc bags, seal the Ziploc bags, and then store them in the fridge. Because if you just stick this in the fridge is an incredibly dry environment, and it will pull the oils and the like out of your citrus fruit, particularly the rind. So we've got a whole bunch of white grapefruit sitting in the refrigerator now in Ziploc bags. So there you go. There's your tip for the day.
You can also freeze.
You can.
You want to segment it first.
Yeah, we did look up all different ways in which you can store grapefruit, and you can freeze it. You want to segment it out first. That seems like way too much effort for me because I want to get to drinking, and I'm lazy. But anyway.
But I'll probably freeze some just to see.
Right. We did that with limes one time to see how well that worked. And the fresh lime juice, hands down, beat the frozen lime juice. I think that, I don't know what episode it was, but we did it. So there you go. There's a grapefruit. Thank you, David and Chris. We did the Necromancer from Lost Lake. Dun, dun, dun. I think the agricole is a little overpowering in that cocktail. But double check here. I don't know what the percentage is. And I don't read French, so that's not going to be helpful.
David and Chris say you're welcome.
Don't know.
Enjoy the show.
Don't know, but I would be willing to try different rum agricoles with the Necromancer, because that seemed a little rum agricole in your face. But this is a basis of the Corpse Survivor number 2, which is a pretty awesome cocktail. You should drink those. The Third Oath. Here we have the Third Oath from Jason Alexander at Devil's Reef. This is Star's favorite. A little on the sweet side for my taste, but that's because my syrups, I think, are 2 to 1. Well, are 2 to 1. I think Jason's syrups are 1.5 to 1. So you might want to cut back on the amount of syrup if you're doing a 2 to 1 syrup, or increase it if in fact you're using a 1 to 1 syrup. Also, in doing research for this particular episode, I was reminded of the textural component of both acids and sugars. The more sugar you add, that tends to thicken up the mouthfeel, so you get a heavier mouthfeel with your cocktail. And the more sour or citrus element, the more acid you add to it, the thinner that feel will be. So getting that right balance between the two to where that's a pleasant feel on your tongue is what you're aiming for. I can tell that this has maybe a little too much sugar in it for my taste, because the mouthfeel is a little heavy, whereas with the Navy Grog, yeah, the Navy Grog is just kind of spot on. I like that. That's quite good. So there you go. 3 cocktails, 3 uses of comparisons to the white grapefruit. 2, it matters a great deal. So I'm actually kind of surprised it mattered as much as it did with the Navy Grogs. But there you go. Find yourself some white grapefruit, make some cocktails, and have some daggone good cocktails. And we will sign off on that note.